everybody. I am Jenny Jewell, a retired emergency dispatcher, and we're going to go over something a little bit different this time. I'm starting a new little segment where we look at jobs in the industry. So you want to work in 911, things to know. And we're going to look at two different jobs from two different areas. One is going to be for Columbus, Ohio, and they are a combined dispatch center. We're going to look at that job. And then we're going to look at Washington State Patrol communications officers. So let's go ahead and start in with Ohio. And there we go. And this is for Columbus, Ohio. And the position is called 911 emergency call taker. And let's go ahead and scroll through this. So the definition is pretty straightforward. It's under general supervision, is responsible for receiving and handling incoming requests for emergency police, fire, and medical, performs related duties as required. So, and again, things that are listed below, they have a little disclaimer here that says that positions may not include all the duties, but they might include more different duties that are listed. So, operates a CAD, which is, computer-aided emergency telecommunications console. Okay, responds to the calls for police, fire, medical. And again, this is important too. Answers the cell calls and determines what the jurisdiction is. So cell phone towers don't care what jurisdiction a caller is calling from. It just picks up the closest one. So a call can come into your center, but be for somebody else. So you need to determine, where this person is. Are they in your jurisdiction? Then you take the call and complete it. Or if you, do a transfer out as quickly as you can to get them to the right place. So really important. And this one's kind of new with the SMS messaging, but texting 911 calls is a new thing that they, for several years people have been doing. So that's pretty cool. Especially if somebody can't physically speak at the time. Verifies correct address of location. Of course, obviously, we go over the Golden 3 quite a bit. Utilizes EMD software to solicit answers from callers to specific questions in accordance with standard practices. So yes, there is EMD training, which is emergency medical dispatch training. The EMD dispatching or call receiving console is really specific. Some places you have to, like 99% of the places, you have to read it verbatim and fill those out as you go. So really important. Okay, dispatch protocol, right place, we got that. Okay, to identify priority level. So that's a whole other level of training. Views multiple computer monitors, graphic informational systems, maps, computer-aided dispatch systems. So again, pretty common to have more than one screen. You have to be able to turn, and look at them and be able to have your eyes on a screen for long periods of time. Okay, and input the information on the computer in accordance to established protocol, which also means putting in the right abbreviations and putting things in the right format, which they train you in. Pre-arrival instructions, which again, pre-arrival instructions are awesome because, do you need to have them lay down? Do you need to get the person's medications out for, the EMS crew? Like if it's a patient, things like that. Also giving correct expectations at the end of a call. Utilizing maps, directories, street locators in order to accurately refer citizens to agencies and jurisdictions. That's kind of a duplicate of the other one up there. To be able to access WASIC. So that's performs queries upon request by police officers and other authorized personnel using a computerized national, state, and regional crime information system. refers non-emergency calls to appropriate agency. Obviously, that would be... They're really, really big on making sure that you know that you need to get it to the right jurisdiction. I wonder if they've had some problems. Because so far they've reworded it like several different times here. Follow up on hang-ups. You have to call a hang-up back if you got the number. May maintain contact with callers while the emergency is happening, while the units arrive. So that's an in-progress call. May provide training, mentoring, or coaching to trainee-level personnel and prepare detailed documentation for training. And prepare informal written reports. So I've had to do those before. Won't explain for what. Minimum qualifications: completion of the 12th grade, substitution, GED or equivalents. Well, that's nice that they're doing that. Oh yeah, and special note, yes, you will be required to take EMD certification. I still have my card. I carry it around with me in my wallet still. It's because I'm an old sap and I like to have some certs with me just because I feel attached to them, even if I don't use them. Okay, so we have... You must have considerable knowledge of basic spelling, English usage, general knowledge of procedures for data entry using a computer, skill to data entry, 4,000 keystrokes per hour. That sounds appropriate. Be able to hear and understand, accurately transcribe spoken information. Ability to work under pressure, high stress, yada, yada, yada. You can read this. I'll leave it up here. You can pause it. But the probationary period is a year. So you have to be there a full probationary period of 365 days. And exam type is competitive. So yes, you are competing against other people with your screening and your testing. With the whole testing process, you are in competition with other people for the job. It's just the nature of the beast. So that was Columbus. And so again, keep in mind their salary goes from 27 to 36. Let's go ahead and look at benefits for them really quick. And City of Columbus seeks to promote compensation to maximize recruitment. So they're trying to get people to want to work there. So they have the medical, dental, vision, short-term disability, life insurance, wellness program. Always take advantage of the wellness programs. You will thank yourself later. Tuition reimbursement if you want to do additional training and things. Yeah, nice. Really straightforward for this job here. So that's, again, Columbus, Ohio. Now we're going to look at, and don't get shell-shocked by the amount of pay change, but there is a huge pay change here. So we're going to look at Washington State Patrol. So in Washington State, the minimum wage has gone up to $20. It's going to go up even higher soon in 2025. So at $20 an hour, this is not something that would be outrageous for the salary. So for this type of job. So if minimum wage is around $20 an hour, and this is a skilled job, $59K to $79K a year annually is pretty reasonable. It is a full-time permanent position. Looks like it opened in April of this year, so it's still currently open. It'll be open till March of next year. So pretty awesome there. All right, so this is for Communication Officer 1, which is a call receiver dispatcher position. So you're doing both, which helps to rationalize the, the signing bonus here. So we have 4,000 signing bonus, which is 2,000 after hire, 2,000 after completion of probation. Communication Officer 1, and it's available statewide. So again, it's a state position, and there should be 7 different centers along, around the state for WSP. And then we get to, so salary would be almost 5K to 7K monthly. And if you're in King County, you get an additional 5% geographic pay. All right, so again, you're going to have training. Communication Officer 1, you absolutely will have training. For law enforcement, emergency communications, operations, and procedures, transmitting, receiving, and relaying information concerning public safety and law enforcement activities to, from, and between state and mobile units and stations, other state, county, federal law enforcement agencies, and the public safety means of radio, multi-line telephone systems, computer terminals, private line intercom systems, and other telecommunication devices. So you're handling all of those at the same time in this position. But they don't all happen at the same time. I'm just saying that they all have the ability to come in at the same time. Okay, so you have to be able to multitask, obviously. CAD system training. And yeah, mutual, working mutual. And this position below that is a new one to me. So available in Bellevue, which does have an overflow area for call takers, but they were usually staffed with troopers, like trooper cadets. But it looks like they actually have positions for civilian positions here for almost 4K to 5K monthly. And that means just call receiving. So you're just taking overflow calls. Communication officer assistant. Communication officer assistant's primary responsibility is to efficiently answer emergency 911 and business phone calls and enter and update calls for service into a CAD system, computer aided dispatch. So, yeah, pretty neat. And required experience or education, high school graduate or GED equivalent, typing speed of 40 words per minute. What that means is 40 words per minute at 100% accuracy. So if you have 40 words a minute but have less than that, that's not going to be a pass. So you have to have, I would say more than 40, but at least 40 at 100%. And you'll have typing testing that you would do for that sort of thing. And here's some of the expectations that weren't listed in things for Columbus. So we're going to go over some of these because it's pretty stringent. And this part is actually any dispatch center. Work weekends, days off, holidays, rotating shifts, continuous 5 work days per week shifts that rotate every 28 days to a different schedule of regular basis and hours per week. That's pretty standard with a lot of places. So if you don't like to come in, on your day off, this is not for you. If you like to plan things and get really upset if your plans get broken, not for you. Okay, so hand dexterity, visual dexterity, distinguish colors, hearing and visual acuity, which there are visual and hearing acuity tests as part of the screening processes for these types of jobs. Ability to effectively communicate and assist with upset, confused, or otherwise distressed customers due to heightened emotions. So they are your customers, but you know who else is your customer? Your teams, your responders are your customers. So, but if people calling in, you consider them your customers too. Willing to work long, extended, adjusted hours, respond on short notice to work. Accept counseling. So you have to be able to accept input. So this is really, really cool to see here. Pretty happy about that. And there's also some character issues that they want to make sure that you're of good character. So refrain from lying, cheating, or stealing. You're responsible for your issued equipment, obviously. That's a given. Okay, because of the nature of the communication job, you have to live within 75 miles of your duty station. So keep that in mind. And these are all the drug possession-y things. What I want to share with you is if you do drugs, just don't. If you have drug offenses or drug convictions, you're going to see in here that you're not going to be able to take this type of job. Now, there's other civilian emergency dispatch jobs that are a little bit more lenient on this sort of thing. This is pretty strict, so we'll leave it up here. So absolutely no. And this is Washington State, where cannabis is legal, so this is a new ad here since then. I think it was 2000 something. No use or possession of cannabis after conditional offer for employment with Washington State Patrol, excluding topical CBD oils, creams, etc. So if, just say that you want to apply this week, but you were hanging out with friends or whatever and decided to be stupid and, you know, smoke pot or whatever, then if you manage to pass the testing and you got a job offer, that's the last time you're ever doing it for as long as you work for that work for the, you know, the agency. You're done. There's no relaxing after work. You'll find that there's people that have turned to drinking that don't survive in this type of work. So if you're a drinker, like if you drink alcohol, stop. If you smoke cigarettes, I recommend stopping. It's like 99.9% of agencies are smoke-free. And then you don't get to pop out and go for a smoke break. That's not this kind of job. I had to break a candy habit. So if you have a weird candy habit, break that. Because if you're kind of like hooked on candy, that can affect your ability to communicate. So quit candy. The other thing is, this is not in here, but this is my personal recommendation. Quit caffeine. You need to be able to fall asleep when it's time to fall asleep and be up when it's time to be up. And that doesn't mean using chemicals to do it. That means you need to use a lot of discipline, because you could do a turnaround shift. We'll scroll down to the rest of the drug stuff in a minute, but just say it's a turnaround shift and you've worked 8 hours or 10 hours, depending on the agency, and you've done your 10 hours, but something is happening where you've gone AHOD, where, all hands on deck, or they're on emphasis and you need to come in. So that can happen. All big incidences will have you, you have to help cover. You have to help cover the calls that come in and the dispatchers that go out. It's the war trenches, but that happens. So if you do drugs, that'll interfere with that, right? If you drink alcohol, it'll interfere with that. Smoking cigarettes, of course, would interfere with that because, again, chemical adjustments with that. Enjoy drinking water. Water is important, so learn to enjoy water. Quit caffeine. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Essentially what I'm trying to tell you here. Also, don't have a criminal record, so don't be naughty. Don't have those offenses. So let's go ahead and scroll down. We're going to look at the rest of the drug stuff here. So examples of the Schedule 1 through 5 drugs that you're not to ever have had to work for this agency, except for cannabis, which again, they say that you can have done cannabis, but you have to stop cannabis at the time of hire, or at the time of offer of hire. But any of these other things is a hell no. Conviction standards. Okay, so you have to have no felony convictions, no misdemeanor convictions involving use, possession of firearms, and the commission of a crime, crimes of violence, domestic violence, assault, sex crimes, or controlled substances. No DUIs within the last 10 years. I think it should be no DUIs ever, but that's just me. Other than those identified above, misdemeanor convictions over age 21 may be considered on a case-to-case basis. We also have misdemeanors under the age of 21 would be considered case by case, but no more than 2 convictions of major moving violations, reckless driving, negligent driving, second degree, etc. within the last 5 years. So a clean driving record is important too. Yeah, really stringent job requirements for this, but let's go ahead let's revisit the benefits for this. Like, look at the benefits so you can kind of see why this is worth it. So, not just the annual salary, which is, to me, worth it. More than just a paycheck. Okay, so we have in here that there's the insurance benefits, which is, again, medical, dental, vision, life insurance. And really, really great if you're trying to take care of your family. Dependent care expenses. I don't know anything about that part. Retirement deferred compensation. That part's awesome. So there is pension. Social Security. So the money that you put into Social Security is again, it's a match system with the state here. Public loan forgiveness. And again, holidays are paid. And sharing with you, when you work for a center, graveyards and holidays normally get you a stipend pay. So if you're working on a holiday, you're getting paid the holiday pay plus whatever the stipend pay would be, and then whatever the double time would be. Sometimes, if just say that the holiday's on a Sunday, you're raking it in because you've got a stipend for it being Sunday. If you work graves on a Sunday, there's your stipend, and then if it's a holiday, dude, I would say get yourself something nice. Buy a pair of shoes or something. Anyway, so there is sick leave, and 8 hours of sick leave per month, which is pretty generous. If you need to take a sick leave day, take a sick leave day. But don't be a frequent flyer either, because people notice that. I never participated in the rumor mill, but you can't help but overhear stuff. Okay, so pay status includes hours worked, time paid, leave on paid holiday. Okay, I can't, for some reason, just cannot talk right now. Military leave, bereavement leave, additional leaves. Yeah, careers.wa.gov if you're interested to go apply. But yeah, super great jobs. The next jobs that I would like to cover would be, I would like to do some agencies in Texas because, again, I showed you some of the stringent stuff for Washington State Patrol, but there are some very stringent agencies in Texas also, which are interesting to look at, so we can look at some job openings for them and see what their requirements are. I would also like to do a few from the East Coast, but if you have an area that you'd like me to look at opportunities and help explain them, in case you're interested in that type of an opportunity, I can definitely do that for you. Just tell me down below, and we can do that at some point. Absolutely. But the next one I'd like to focus on is Texas. So I'd like to do the marshals down there. Could be cool. But anyway, guys, with that, please take care. Stay safe. Don't be naughty. And by don't be naughty, you saw all the things you can't do. Don't break the law. Don't break yourself. But with that, till next time. Bye-bye.